Attention Firebirds, this is your Captain Eunz speaking. Carnelian and I would like to thank you for joining us on today's flight. The complement to your entertainment is the PokePlant Project, which can be found on the screen in front of you. The PokePlant Project is a series on this channel in which I draw Pokemon and plants. A bunch of Pokemon have gotten loose and are having fun without us. If you've got what it takes to be the very best, then we gotta catch them all. Once we do, let me know which one's your favorite in the comments below.
Hello everyone, welcome back or welcome to the HeyEunziverse. Finally, we can get the PokePlant Print Project started. I originally planned to start the series during the summer, but life got away from me. Better late than never though. These videos will be showcasing my process as usual, but from a few different angles. I want to be able to show how I go about things that you can't see from the drawing time-lapse. My first step is laying out a grid. Perspective isn't always something that I formally lay out in every drawing I do, but always something I keep in mind. With a larger scale illustration like this though, I prefer to have the grid in the background so that I don't go off perspective. My next step is to make a very rough sketch of the illustration. This is the time to space things out and experiment with the composition. This piece is following the first of 10 themes I have planned, and it's the season of spring. A classic spring icon is the cherry blossom tree, so that's what I've chosen as the plant representative for this illustration. As for the Pokemon, we have all the current evolutions joined by Wooloo, Plusle, Minun, Pichu, Raichu, and the world-renowned face of Pokemon, Pikachu. I know it's hard to tell who's who at this point, but I promise it all comes together in the end. The cherry blossom tree, or sakura tree, is from the genus Prunus. This genus consists of cherries, peaches, apricots, nectarines, plums, and almonds. Though the genus is found in North America, South America, Asia, and Africa, most cherry blossom species are native to Asia. Its fruit are not that good for consumption, so they are considered to be ornamental cherry trees rather than edible. Since it is the national flower of Japan, it's the perfect match for these Pokemon that also originated there. In 1912, the cherry blossom tree made its way to the United States when Japan presented them as a token of friendship. Because of this, not only are cherry blossom viewing festivals prevalent throughout Asia, the United States also holds them every year. Cherry blossoms bloom from March to April in the Northern Hemisphere, and you can experience the explosive beauty of the white and pink flowers. Where I currently live though, cherry blossoms are not common, so I attempted to grow some myself from seed in order to make bonsai. I believe I have some that germinated and are now saplings, but since I didn't label them, I can't be sure until they flower. It's one of the most beautiful flowers and trees in my opinion, and it's a dream of mine to view cherry blossoms in Japan and Korea during Hanami season. Hanami is an ancient tradition of drinking under blooming sakura trees. These days, it's a time to go out with family, friends, and significant others and have a picnic with them. I can only imagine how wonderful of an experience it must be to take a relaxing moment under cherry blossoms, taking in the bustle of other picnicking folks surrounded by breathtaking nature. Thus began my attempt to recreate that in this piece, with petals floating in the wind and Pokemon having a good time. After making the very rough sketch, I move on to a rough sketch. I clean up the drawing a bit more and finalize the placement of all the components I'm including in the drawing. I like to have the underdrawing be a different color like red or blue so that I can easily differentiate from black. But it's not a consistent habit, as you can see. However, whether it's digital or on physical canvases, I think it helps the designing process go a lot smoother. During the rough sketch, sometimes I lay out rough color and shadow. It helps me see if the colors are balanced and also makes it easier to differentiate between assets like where each Pokemon starts and ends. This piece is probably one of the brightest and happiest color palettes I've ever used, since I usually gravitate towards darker, moodier themes. But I appreciated that it ended up being a helpful exercise of breaking out of my comfort zone. After the rough sketch, I go into the final lines. To me, this is both the most satisfying and most tedious part of any drawing. As someone who is a perfectionist, it's the part that takes the most amount of time. But that could partially be due to me trying to multitask during this part of the process. What I mean is that because there's a lot happening in the illustration, I often jump to color, shade, and highlight a section before completing all the lines. For example, I completed the tree and the pond before continuing on with the final lines. The reason for this is that I get an idea about how I want to finish that section, and I feel like I'll forget that idea unless I do it right then and there. So I do. Then once I have it down, I go back to finishing the lines. This happens basically all the time. If I go in order of my process, after final lines is flat color. Within the flat color, I do some additional painting where I feel it needs more dimension or detail. I left the background to be more abstract so that it wouldn't become too busy. If I were to use clear lines, it would distract from the drawing I already had. After flat color is shadow. I wanted high contrast in this piece as if it's a really bright and sunny day with the sun high in the sky. After shadow comes highlight, which is also the part of the process where I intensify the light source. And then we're done. To summarize, in the top left corner we have Team Pikachu and Plusle teasing Team Raichu and Minun with the last remaining Tangle. Beneath them is Vaporeon chatting with Sylveon, but the latter is preoccupied with its reflection. Behind the pair, Leafeon is mischievously using Razor Leaf to bother Flareon and Eevee, who are rolling in the grass. Flareon is caught off guard, but Eevee seems to be enjoying it. In the top right corner, we have Umbreon gazing at the sky as Espeon gazes at the crowd. At the base of the tree, Glaceon makes sure to keep the icebox cool. Most of the picnic food has been eaten, so Jolteon has gone into food coma. Beside the sleepy Pokemon is Wooloo, who is enjoying the makeover Pichu is giving it. I'd love to hear what you think about the composition, which Pokemon here is your favorite, and if you've ever experienced a Cherry Blossom Festival. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.
As we come in for a landing, Carnelia and I hope you had as much fun as we did on today's adventure. Until next launch, let's stay connected.